today's destination brings us. I love it. All right. We're live.
Hey.
And we're standing the whole time because someone's a dummy who set it up and then decides not to bring chairs.
That's okay,
Dude,
man.
I thought about it, but I stayed up really late last night and I just knocked out. It's one of those nights where like so late, and then my wife woke me up like around 5 in the morning. She's like, hey, can you get the bottle ready for my son? And I was like, oh shoot, like it is just... So be organized, guys.
You know what? That's actually a flip for me because usually I am up super late on Friday nights. You know, you've asked me about that before. A lot of times I'm up super late on Friday nights, so I get like maybe 3-4 hours sleep before waking up early for something on a Saturday. Last night, I actually knocked out at like 6 o'clock and I slept till like about 9:45.
The worst.
And then I woke up again and like I was up for maybe about an hour and then went to bed.
Oh, okay. The worst is when you take like a power nap, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, I can't go back to sleep.
Dude, for me, I had no problem, but like, cause my wife had a girls trip coming up for this weekend. My daughter had a girls trip coming up for this weekend. So it was perfect timing. It was like, okay, I'm heading out. So this morning I woke up early and then I was like, okay, as I'm leaving, wake up my wife, wake up my daughter so they can start getting ready.
That's funny. Oh man. Let me see. How are we doing here with the recording? Because I want to make sure that I'm getting everything right. I'm telling you, man. Technology. Technologia.
So on today's destination brings us to Automotive Anatomy, a little collab.
You gotta let us know. Good
How's
morning.
it going today, sir?
Nope. Yeah. They're still around. Very few, but they're still around. He just looked at my car. He didn't say anything.
No. I like those two. I always wanted a two-door.
Yeah, these ones are very low key. This one I've had for a little while now.
Yeah.
Get one.
Like a, what's it, 89? No, 79 Civic. The little
89.
one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The CVCCs before they became the Civics.
Yeah, the little tiny one.
Yeah.
That'll fit.
Man, you should see now they're stuffing the K-swaps in those. Yeah. Getting 300 horsepower in those little things.
It gets squirrely, yeah?
Yeah. You really see these cars anymore, man.
Yeah. You got to come out to Long Beach, the classic car shows. They're coming up in October.
That's crazy. They're classics now, huh?
Yep.
That's insane.
We're getting old.
Yep.
I know, right?
Take it
Have a
easy.
good day. Looky Louie. Louie's making friends with cops so that way we don't get arrested.
Got to keep them on our side, man.
So, before we begin, if you don't mind introducing yourself and...
My name's Louie, Oldschool Designs on IG, Destination Happy on YouTube. Taking us to places, destinations, things that bring me and my wife some happiness, whether it's car shows, Disneyland, Disney-related travel, stuff like that.
Dope. And thank you for being here with us, and to all the millions of machines that are going to be passing by. And this is a slow one too.
I know this one's coming super slow.
You can't make this up. Destination Happy. By the way, you guys should definitely tune into his YouTube channel because there's something really rad. I will not disclose. I know you're nervous and you're like, shut up! I told you to not disclose. This is what he's up to, guys. I'm gonna tell everybody. No. I think it is really cool for not just for the EF dudes, but for just people in general with older golden Honda era cars. So
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be a really cool thing for you to.
Yeah, got something really cool brewing up. It's something a lot of people have wondered about. It's been something that's kind of been a mystery process for a lot of people. Something I've been working on for a while. I've documented it all, going to be able to answer a lot of questions. And I'm really eager to wrap it up so I can share with everybody. And man, I really went through a lot of hoops to get it done. I'm still going through a lot of hoops. And I was sharing it with Gus this morning, man.
It's so bad.
Not done. Holy hell, it's been a journey, man.
But you know what's funny? It's not because like the last thing that happened.
Yeah.
That's like self-inflicted wound.
Oh, dude, tell me about it, man.
It's like
oh
when
my
we have
God.
to, we change some stuff to the car. we're messing with, you know, certain aspects, and so
Yeah.
but we'll get to that.
But I mean, man,
That's interesting.
Oh, dude, I've just run into so many self-inflicted wounds doing this. Jeez.
But I think once the process, you know, continues to be done, I think it's gonna open the doors for many people,
Yes.
including, you know, myself, to see that it's not as intimidating as we think.
Exactly. And it's also going to add a lot of clarification for a lot of people and be able to show, like, okay, look, like you said, it's not as intimidating. It'll clarify a lot of things, make it a lot easier, you know, and you'll have somebody that you can ask now question of, as opposed to looking for information from way
When do you
old threads
anticipate
and
that
stuff.
kind of, are you gonna do one long video?
You know, I gotta see. I don't think it'll be too long a video, so it'll probably be one video,
Okay.
and then I'll probably put up some stuff in Instagram. And of course, you know me, I'll be more than happy to answer all sorts of
Yeah, that's
questions
cool.
and stuff. So
Yeah, so hopefully within the next month.
yeah, I'm hoping so.
That's
hoping
dope.
so.
That's cool because it's 2025 and we're still talking about, like, so the, you know, cops passed by and all they said was like, hey, those are old school now, you know, they're cool, you know. He legitimate looked at your car, he's like, that's nice. And then he legitimate looked at my car and went back to Civic and he's like, oh yes. You can't make it up, you know, no love for a court. So I was just like, that's okay. But it's true, like they're classics now, man, and the more that we drive them, the more we're. So one of the products that I'm working on is another shirt drop.
Appropriate shirt.
Thank you. By the way, I just love storage revolving chassis codes. I
Yes.
like that whole idea. But anyway,
Yes.
it takes me a long time to come up with designs and little sayings and things like that. And even if 2 shirts sell, that's all that matters. You know, I think I really
And
appreciate
thank you again for the hookup. Much appreciated.
No,
you know,
you guys are supporting, so you know, the least I can do is, you know.
definitely.
The next show that I'm going to be coming up, it has to do with driving older cars, because I think I'm of that belief that it takes a very special person. I'm not saying smart nor financial savvy, okay, but it takes a very special person to drive an old car.
Yes.
Whether it's a Honda, Toyota, American Muscle,
Datsun. whatever,
don't matter. It takes a very special person, because you know that car may not turn on in the morning.
Perfect example. Perfect example.
No pun
Definitely.
intended. I forgot about that. I'm sorry. And the podcast came to an end because Louis got mad. He's having issues with it
example.
starting. No, remember, when
Yeah.
I'm around, it turns on.
Exactly. Yeah, and this morning I had to do the same thing. Do my special start.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah. But you're right. With these cars, you never know what it could be. It could be a non-start issue. It could be a busted suspension.
Exhaust
it could
leak.
be exhaust leak. Old Volkswagens, the throttle cable are known to break.
They literally snap.
Yeah, a lot of times the throttle cable will break going to the engine. I've had friends that have had to have another friend hold and pull the cable for their friend under the dash. Like, hey, pull the cable so I can go, let go of the cable so I can stop. I've had that. My friend had his
What?
mom under the dash pulling the cable for him. Yeah. You know, and I've had
Never heard of
friends.
that.
Yeah, I've had friends with Datsuns where they've had to find like a bobby pin to replace a carb linkage screw that fell out and stuff like that. So yeah, it takes a lot. It really does. You never know. And then you got the guys who pulled out their AC, you know, thinking back in the day, oh, I'll save some horsepower. And then nowadays, brutal sun. It takes a lot to drive.
It takes a lot to drive. I mean, one of the biggest, like where I work, there's somebody else that has an older car. I think like an 80s range Land Rover, like really boxy, really cool looking. But aside from that person, it's me who has the older car. I don't know, to me, it's especially when you're happy with what you drive, right? Like this car, obviously, your EF, you know you have something very sentimental. You have something that you really enjoy. It's on top of that, for me, is driving these older cars, knowing that I could easily afford a payment for something newer. It just doesn't give me that same satisfaction.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when we're doing rollers and my car is scraping everywhere, sure, I look like a teenager, but I enjoy it.
Yeah.
The
That's
rubbing, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's true.
I haven't outgrown it, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna be the case. But even then, if I get a new car, like I'm still gonna slam it. Like I don't see myself driving a stock car. Like,
Yes.
I can't. Like that's when I see some automotive enthusiasts and their daily drivers like just a regular Prius like that, and I'm just how do you do that?
Yes.
They have awesome cars, but how do you do that?
I can't see myself leaving anything stock. I've got to play with it. And you're right. I can do a payment. I can buy something new. I can't leave it alone. Like right now, I'm looking to get my wife something newer, and I might take her TSX wagon. And already I'm thinking, I see Burrow's car, and I'm like, I already know suspension, wheels.
That's it. Well, the Euro R headlights.
Well, and now I'm also thinking, steering wheel with all the button controls, exhaust. I'm like,
manual swap, all-wheel drive. Let's go,
dude. I've got the list. And then even for her truck, I'm already thinking, wheels, lift kit.
I love how that's like an old car for her, right?
Yeah.
But for you, it's gonna be coming
a new
from
platform.
This.
Exactly.
You're gonna be excited when it turns on.
Exactly.
No, but it's so stupid. But like, what was it? I can't remember. I got into a car one time with one of my coworkers, and I got in my car because we went to get Starbucks, and it's just like a Mazda SUV. I don't even remember what it was. So we sit down. He turned on the AC, and then I'm looking at the screen that he had, and I'm like, man, that screen is big. It's bright. He's like, yeah. I'm like, and your AC hits cold right away. He looked at me. He's like, Gus, get a new car. And I was just like, I guess I don't realize like the comfort creatures.
Yeah.
Because to me, a TSX wagon, bro, that's a new car.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah. Well, see, and the biggest thing about it, like going from this to that, for me, it's not even that, because I still drive her car a lot. When we go places, she always lets me drive her car. She's fine riding passenger. So I drive her car a lot, and I enjoy driving it. It's got the speed, it's got the handling. But to me, the biggest thing is being able to park that car anywhere. Like we can park it at the grocery store, at the mall,
Disneyland.
Anywhere, and not worry. Yeah, Disneyland. Well, I can park this. I take this to Disneyland.
Why?
Me and my wife and my daughter, we'll jump in this. We'll take it to Disneyland. Yeah.
No.
We enjoy. That's one of the big things. I like cruising this car with the three of us. My daughter loves riding. That's part of why I don't have a roll bar.
Disneyland? Oh.
Yeah, this is part of why this car doesn't have a roll bar. Because my daughter loves riding in it with us. It's a very nostalgic moment for
100%.
us. So we take it to Disneyland, and Disneyland is one of those few places, and you can ask like John, it's John, and like Type R Jose and a few of those other guys. They've taken like Type R's and stuff to Disneyland, that parking structure, because it's honestly one of the safer places you can take some of these cars, because you're not going to get a tow truck in there to tow something out, and even if you try to take something, there's cameras everywhere, and worst case, I do have Haggerty on this, but it's one of the safer places you can take it, but it's not in all the time. But I've taken it. That's one of the few places that I've taken it.
Oh man.
But like with the wagon, we can take it pretty much anywhere.
What's your daily driver?
It's a 93 EG VX. That's my daily.
New compared to
I know.
this.
Slightly newer than this.
I'm ready for a new car.
But see,
show up with the 93.
But see, even with that, like by comparison to the TSX, it's that same thing. You can't park the EG just anywhere. I can't just leave it at any mall, any complex, whatever. If I take it to the supermarket, I'm in and out.
In and out.
And I know the supermarket where I'm at. But the TSX, I can take it to Glendale and leave it in a parking structure, whatever. The EG, I'm not leaving it in a parking structure. I'm not leaving it anywhere for any extended period. You know?
That's the crazy part, man. About. It's funny though, because I always jump back and forth with when it comes to like a newer car. There's only certain amount of new cars that I want because I still don't want to lose that sensation of driving a car.
Yes.
Right.
I still want it to be fun.
Correct.
Yeah.
And for me, as much as I want to get that new car, man, I find myself on Facebook Marketplace looking at old cars.
Yes.
I just can't get away from that because they have their personality.
Yeah.
You mentioned, Volkswagen. Like one of the conversations or the topics I want to talk to you about was bucket list cars. And for me, I have so many that but they'll all mostly revolve around 2000 and below.
Yeah.
Right, because I feel like anything after 2000 is very difficult to find something with the soul.
Yeah.
So, what are some of your bucket list cars?
See, this is hard for me too, because
We got battery, so it's good.
my wife and daughter, same. They always ask me, like, what's your favorite car? If you could pick one car, I can't. It's, you know, I can't narrow it down, because, you know, I like old Porsches, for example, like the original air-cooled, not anything with all the electronics and stuff. I like, you know, all the old Civics, you know, probably EKs in back. I like the older Accords. The BRZs, some of the older Subaru wagons. Let me see. God dang. Actually, some of the new Broncos. I actually kind of like those.
Did you see the Bronco that was?
Yeah.
Oh my
I love those older Broncos too.
Right? Like,
I love those.
The resto mod thing that they're doing. Okay, so because you're obviously not a purist, right?
Yeah.
You like that resto mod.
Yeah.
I'm not a purist either, because I feel like, okay, you restore a car to stock, cool, but it goes back to the same thing. Like, okay, so can we do something to it to bump it up, even if it's just wheels and suspension?
Yes.
And so, like the one that we saw, those are
Yeah.
resto mods where paint job is clean, they lift them up, and it's like you can still tell it's an old car.
Yep.
But it just has
It's
so
just
much
got
new.
that little extra. Yeah. See, like even like
So good.
old school Camaros, 69, 60, 69, 70 Camaros, Firebirds. Like I love the old school, like the Trans Am Classic, the race, especially how they've modified the ones to make them road. What is it? Not drag, but the ones that are prepared to go like road course and stuff like that. I forget what class they are, but basically they take them, they clean them up, make them look all stock, but underneath they're basically full suspension and everything, so they're ready to go, you know, do road course events and like Laguna Seca and stuff all
Like Time
day.
Attack and stuff.
Yeah, so they're basically, they're not like what you think of the old American cars that can't handle. These ones are like set up to handle
But the
all
chassis
day
looks
long.
like as if
But
it was
they-
stock.
Exactly.
So very minimal, I guess, aerodynamic changes.
Yeah.
But everything under is
Exactly. And like Tim Allen has a couple. He's got this one 69 Camaro. You look at it and it looks very stock, but he's actually got some mild fender flares on there. The wheels that he's got are actually like a very modified wheel that looks like an original stock steel. He's got the bigger horsepower underneath, and everything he's done is to mimic a very original old school looking Camaro, but it's got all these little plus features that make it look original OEM stock. And he's like, it looks exactly like a car he saw in high school that first got him into Camaros.
But it's
and
not,
I love that.
But it's
Yeah.
not the same beast.
Exactly.
Wow.
And I love stuff like that. You know, the Camaros, I've seen a couple of old school Corvettes that I love, you know. Baja Beetles. I love Baja Beetles. And then I've seen a couple in Japan where they took the Baja Beetle look, but they slammed it and did some nice fat wide wheels and tires
really?
and slammed it. And I'm like, that's fucking awesome. You know, it's like, that'd be awesome to see.
You know what's crazy? How we go back to the same thing. I don't know where we went wrong. Obviously, we're going wrong with AI. People say, "Oh no, it's great." No. You guys don't see the future, but we're gonna be obsolete in a few years. Like our jobs are not good. Like it's scary, but aside from that, capitalistic, I think, values took over, obviously, and we lost that sense of creating interesting stuff.
Yeah.
You mentioned the Baja Beetle. Like that's a complete different type of Beetle.
Yeah.
The chassis, the engine, the purpose of it.
Yeah.
So for Volkswagen to be like, hey, let's make a production of this for this, because I would never think of a Beetle for freaking off-roading.
Yeah.
But yet, there they are, and they look amazing. And the same thing with these ones. They had, you know, different aftermarket supports. They had different, you know, trims, like very, very distinct JDM, USDM, and EDM setups.
Yeah.
Now they're all cookie cutters. It's the same thing,
Yeah.
same body, safety regulations, and then just change the bumpers and put a different badge on it.
Exactly. And you know, that's the entire thing too, because as the cars have started complying with all of the safety regulations, they've gone fatter and bigger, and it's like you see all the subcompact cars have become the mid-sized cars, have become the large sedans. And so like the subcompacts and the compacts have kind of gone away, and they've all become this mid-size class, and the mid-size has become the large. And so little by little, they've all gone away. It's kind of like the sport compact trucks. You don't see small pickup trucks anymore. The Maverick is the closest thing to a small pickup anymore.
Which I love.
Yeah, I love that. That's what I'm trying to get for my wife. You know, she loves it. I love it. You know, but you don't see small pickups anymore.
Bro, you just love it.
Yeah, I've seen the lowered ones. I've seen them lifted.
The wheels that it comes with, the Steelies, it looks so good lowered.
Yes,
right?
exactly, exactly.
Like, okay, I'm not the only one.
Yes, just a good basic Maverick. Doesn't need all the bells and whistles. Just basic with the steel wheels. Drop it a little. Oh, nice.
Boxy, we see the same thing. Well, obviously you like boxiness.
Yeah.
You're actually living the dream. mine still had a little bit of like that was a change.
A little bit of the aerodynamics.
A little bit of aerodynamics. Yours is like, nah, let's just do a box and put some wheels on it, right? Funny you said that, because you know in the last conversation with my buddy Chris, we went into detail about the Maverick and the Slate truck.
Oh yeah.
That's like, I don't like EVs, but that Slate truck for whatever reason is grabbing my attention. And if I ever was to get one, I want the manual door windows, which I know is stupid, but I just would want
manual cranks, manual mirrors.
Yours is electric? No, manual.
All manual. So
I disrespected you there, right? How dare you? My car may not serve, but it has manual cranks.
I am tempted though to just do the manual conversion on the windows, only for the fact that I do like being able to, you know, when you jump on the freeway, you want to be able to put up both windows, and as soon as you get off of the freeway, dude, you don't know how many times when I'm doing, because I'm a short guy, dude, I don't have the long arms, you know, so like when I reach over and my car is like
you should create like a mechanism where it attaches
little extension. Because man,
or just do one side electric.
Oh, I know, huh? just the one, But that's honestly, that's probably the only thing that I would want to do, is at least just electrify the windows just for that, because I do like being able to drop the windows as soon as I'm off the freeway or something like that. But other than that, yeah, I don't care about the power mirrors. I don't care about power door locks or any of that stuff. I don't need any of those other creature comforts. The fact that I still have my AC, I find myself very lucky about that. My AC works. It works very strong.
It does?
Yeah, shout out to Boots for helping me get that wired up. Cause,
okay, so let's say...
oh, and before we go any further, other bucket list cars. Datsun 510, whether it's a 2-door, 4-door, or the wagon.
Wago.
Exactly, right? Oh, dude. That's another, and see, very boxy too.
240Zs though too.
240Zs. One of my first cars was a 1980 Toyota Corolla. And that was the very boxy like the 510, and I got lucky because I had the one with the dual round headlights. Oh, that was my deal right there. Very boxy, the dual round headlights, rear wheel drive.
Jeez.
And this thing had like, I don't even know how much horsepower, but it was one of those fun cars that you could be bombing around corners and it felt like it was super fast, but it probably had like 80 horsepower. And then I also had a 1980 Toyota Starlet. Starlets are another one. I would love to rebuild another one. I want to get one for my wife to build, because we had one when our daughter was first born, and she loved that car. It would be her and our daughter driving in that. She loved having the pull choke in the morning to warm it up and everything. She'd be cruising in that, be racing around at like 45 miles an hour, and it felt like 75 in that thing.
They're light.
Yeah, it was lowered. It had GTI fender flares all the way around. Had I think metal bumper up front. The rear was the plastic bumper, painted bright red. That thing was beautiful, but we ended up having to get rid of it.
Yeah, they're not really the safest car, especially now with the cars in the road.
Exactly.
Well, let's play this game. I know it's never gonna be the list will always be different, but 3-car garage. Okay. 3-car.
Oh.
For the rest of your life.
Oh.
That can do it all. Daily driver, weekend driver, and whatever.
Man. Whew. Well, I definitely got to have this in there. Definitely.
Now hold on. Like this specific car?
Yeah. This has got to be in there.
Okay, so let's have a conversation about this, because as you think about the other 2 cars, I'm the same way about my coupe, right? My Accord. I know damn well that's not that's not the ultimate car.
Mm.
I know that, like, that's a stupid decision. For me, it's just because it's my first car.
For me, there's a lot to this though, because even though it's not the first Civic Si that I had, there's a lot of sentimentality into it. My daughter loves it. Me and my wife have a lot of memories into it. Put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, especially after everything that I've done recently. But honestly, the more I drive it, the more I fall in love with it again. Even every time that it pisses me off and I'm like, shit, I should just sell it and move on.
No.
I get in, I drive it again, and I fall in love with it all over again. If anything, to add it to the ultimate garage, I would honestly, if anything, maybe want to upgrade it to do the, the all-wheel drive conversion.
Oh.
I would probably do that. Do the all-wheel drive to make it like be able to drive it in any type of weather, have that traction, and still keep the Type R. You know, and I think that would probably be the only other real upgrade to be able to keep this as a forever car.
And you know, I don't think it's a bad choice. I think it goes back to that's what we have built, right? If you would have bought a Datsun 510, we would talk about 510.
Yeah.
This just happens, you know, because of money or opportunity or, you know, whatever we're gonna call it, serendipity. We end up with this car. I end up with a Corsa where the officer looks at it and just like he legit, you know, you saw it.
Yeah.
He's like, that's a nice Civic, man. It's old school. And he looked at the car.
Yeah, he did pause for a second. He was like
for like 5 seconds, and I'm like waiting for him to be like, that's cool too, or you know, he just looked at it, then goes back. Yeah, I really like those.
Yeah, no shade. He did pause for a bit, like trying to think of something.
But that's okay. That's okay because I'm okay with that. I'm okay. I was like, all right, Louis, I'm sorry. I'm about to get arrested, bro. Throw hands with the officer. Didn't say anything. He didn't, like, just looked at it.
But then later he did say, I appreciate the sedan.
And I wanted a coupe, yeah. Which I'm sure he thinks it's a Civic. He just lied. He lied. But okay, I love that because I'm in the same boat. I guess just because I guess I gotta stick with my freaking coupe.
Yeah.
It would be part of my 3-car garage too. Which it would really be, I guess. This is, I don't know if you see it the same way, but this is the way I see it. Throughout our progression, we make a little bit more money, we get a little bit more, you know, older, and things start getting better for the most part, right? And I feel like now that we make more money, why should I get rid of my old car?
Yeah.
If that's the one that got me through.
Exactly.
There's a quote that says, you know, a blind man, once he sees for the first time, he'll throw away the stick that helped him throughout the whole time. And that, I guess it's a stupid way of looking at it, but that's what keeps me motivated to continue to get my car on the road. Like recently, I didn't check the oil of my car and the engine, say bye-bye. So I could just say, great, let me just go get a new car because that's it. I didn't even hesitated. Like, you know, shout out to Mata, he already sourced the engine and he's resealing it. And does it hurt to spend that money? Maybe, but not enough to say, hey, I'm gonna get rid of it, because it's just they give me so much joy.
Yeah. And that's the entire thing. I mean, you know, something that brings you joy, you don't necessarily need to get rid of it. And it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like with kids today too. You know, everybody's a lot of times in a rush to have their kids grow up and be adults and stuff. And it's like, look, you have all your life to be an adult. Why ruin their joy? Let them enjoy being kids. Look, even as an adult with adult money, I still buy toys. I still play with cars. I still, you know, enjoy those little things. I'm glad to find joy wherever you can.
Yeah.
There's too many things in life that suck the joy out of you. Find joy wherever you can. Enjoy it. Have it as much as you can. Whether it's this, that, or the other thing. Disney, you know, toys, cars, whatever. Enjoy it where you can. You know, whether it's your family, your kids, toys, whatever. You know, it's joy wherever you can find it. Enjoy it for as long as you can. And, you know, if this is one of those things that just kind of needs to remind you how much fun it is to just get out and drive again, you know, because that, honestly, even just my drive on the way here, you know, going through a couple of turns and stuff, on the 5 to the 110, that nice little snake connector, oh man, this just stuck right through, and it just put a big grin on my face, and I loved it. And I was like, this is why I enjoy driving.
And this is why I made a 3 car on your garage list.
Exactly.
So we're in the same way. Where I got my 95 bucket. You got your, what is it, 89?
91.
91.
Yeah. See, and then so this is why I would keep that one on there. Then the other two would probably be, I'm not greatest at knowing Porsche years or whatever, but I think it would be a Carrera S4, which would be all-wheel drive Porsche.
Mm-hmm. What generation?
Whatever the earliest Carrera S4 would be.
Okay.
Because again, for me, if you're gonna have something like a Porsche, I would want it to be a Porsche where you can get in and drive it as much as you can and enjoy it as much as you can. It's not going to be just a weekend car, not just an occasional. Yeah, because it's like, if I'm going to spend that money, I'm going to enjoy that car. I want to enjoy it as much as I can. And the all-wheel drive just makes it that much more enjoyable. Whether it's rainy, snowy, whatever, I can enjoy the hell out of it. I had an all-wheel drive A4 Audi wagon, and damn, that thing was hella enjoyable, especially like during like rainy season and stuff. I know we don't get a ton of rain out here, but man,
when we do, people forget how to drive.
Fly.
And that's the reason there's accidents. And that's the reason there are accidents. Because
I was able to fly. Admittingly enough, I was able to fly through rainy weather on the roads, and that thing just gripped and ripped. And you know, honestly, I think that would be something about a Porsche. It's like you could just drive it, enjoy it, regardless of the day, the weather, whatever. I would want to enjoy that. Yeah, that's one of those cars that they say is a supercar, sports car that is meant to be able to be enjoyed every day. Exactly.
Well, aside from like, you know, being a family car, right? But aside from that, like you can drive it to the store, to the track, to the canyon.
Exactly. Versus like a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or something like that. The Porsche is meant to be an everyday sports car.
I started to enjoy or appreciate more of those exotics. I used to not even care about them. Now I'm enjoying them and actually paying attention to them a little bit more. Obviously the F40 would be like, hey, you know, but it's one of those things where the Porsches can do it all. And for me, I think my take, not saying you're wrong or that I'm right, for me, it has to be a real-wheel drive Porsche because that's part of the whole. I'm not a great driver, but that's part of the whole idea of the car. You know, the engine behind the axle and everything. But there's a reason why those 4Ss exist.
And I don't disagree with you. I do like the rear-wheel drive. It's just for me, I just like the idea of the 4-wheel drive just to make it that much more enjoyable year-round.
I know. When we're both in the rain, I'm in the pole, and you're driving. Dumbass. You know, I'm like, you're the one who caused the accident. I was trying to catch up. No, but it's true. Okay.
And I would probably, to turn it up just a little bit more, money no object.
Right.
I would have it be done by Singer because I like the idea of the modern chassis wrapped in a classic package. That would be the cherry on top.
And I find it funny though because like if money was not an option, like let's say you have like let's say a modest house, right? Like not a mansion, but it was just so funny, like those cars exist and then this one and then you know, like I always thought, but like I don't know, just what we like, you know?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Well, I've always told my wife, and I make the joke all the time. I'm like, I just want a nice garage with a house attached. That's it. I'm a simple guy, you know.
Oh shoot.
You know, to the point, my wife, she loves watching videos on YouTube about, you know, different houses and stuff. She loves seeing the houses. She specifically will look at the ones that have the good garages for me. She'll be like, babe, you gotta see this one. She's like, it's got the RV garage. Can you imagine how many cars you could put in there? She's like, it's got room for a lift.
Oh, yes.
Yes, she looks out for me for that. Her and my daughter were watching this one video and they're like, both of them, my daughter's like, Dad, you gotta see this one. You gotta see this one. And this one had like, I think it had like an underground, like a collection level of car collection level to be able to display all these cars and stuff and like glass lined. Oh my gosh, it was so awesome.
Funny you say that about the space because I love watching architecture. I love architecture. I love some people don't know it, but I actually like going to different places and just taking pictures of buildings. Like I love just anything architectural.
Nice.
And I love looking at houses and the way they decorate them, and the garage obviously is a big part. But right now when you mention about a big space, my buddy Rafa sent me a link a long time ago on Zillow. He's like, hey, would you be open to buying this house? And I remember I looked at it, and the house is like nothing weird, but it was really expensive. And I was like, why the hell is this so expensive in Long Beach? So I tried scrolling. Dude, had like, if I believe it was underground, if I'm not mistaken, but it easily could fit 10 plus cars.
Ooh,
15. I mean, it was a
nice.
huge lot. And maybe I'm misremembering it, but it has a lot of spaces.
Oh, man.
And I was like, wait,
that.
that's where? And he's like, yeah, dude. It just, like, you would
that.
never think about
I
it.
love that.
Anyway.
There's a lot of places in Burbank near the Disney studio that are like that.
Okay.
It's basically a lot of the guys who used to be Imagineers or who also used to work at like Lockheed Martin and stuff when they used to be out there. And it's a small house, but they've got the huge, not warehouse, but they've got the big like workshop behind the house that can fit like multiple RVs and stuff, because these guys would come out and work on their own projects and stuff. And one my wife showed me, it had like 3 huge lifts that could fit RVs on the lifts and still fit like 10 cars, and it's behind like a modest 3-bedroom house or something like that. And it's like, you look at the house and the workshop is literally double the size of the house.
It's like those memes, you know, like where like the house is so beat up and there's like a GTR in front of it or a Lambo. It's like priorities.
And but I gotta share with you though, one of my friends, one of our friends, his parents are pretty well-to-do, and they had gifted property to each of their kids. And one of the pieces of property they gifted to their son, our friend, was up in the hills of Los Feliz. And they're really strict about how you build property there. You know, you can't go too high above and all that, right? But our friend, their son, he is a really big car guy, and he could not get away from having a big garage, but you restricted, right? How big and everything. So he got super creative, and what he did, because he's on the hillside facing out, he went underground. So his driveway goes down, and underground was just all garage level. And he's got like regular parking area, workshop area, and then like another display area for like motorcycles and parts and everything. And so on the back side, mountainside, the first level is his house facing out, you know, the pool and everything. And below that, he can open up the backside of his garage to the open air, to the city. And I'm like, dude.
Wow, really? Where to spoil my coffee? Out here I was like so happy.
Dude,
like, yeah, bro, I'm living life. And
dude,
then,
imagine the first time I saw that. He's like, oh, hey, can you guys help me out with some Volkswagen suspension? We went to go install coilovers. And I go in and I'm like, what the hell, you know, going into the back cave. And then he opens up the back wall and I'm like, oh, what the hell, dude?
You brought me here, not for the suspension. Suspension's already put on. He's wearing a show off. No, but you know what?
But he's also the nicest guy, though. He's legitimately the nicest guy.
And I was about to say that. And you know what? Some of these people, not everybody, but some of these people really appreciate it. And they're not doing it because of that. They're doing it because they also want to share.
Exactly.
A big part of having your own space is you wanting to share the experience.
Yeah.
And you know when someone is coming off as very like, let's say pretentious or whatever, like very, you know, you know when someone's like humble about it. It's like, hey man, let's just come and hang out, like let's work. And by the way, yes, I have this view, and and is honest about it. Like, yeah, I got property or money gifted from my parents. It's nothing to be ashamed of, but it's the people that say, oh yeah, just work harder, buddy. Like those are the ones that I'm like.
And that's how this guy is. He's very humble, and he legitimately knew we would just dig it as car guys.
Heck yeah.
The space to work, the view,
and you spend a lot more money to go down because most of the designs are the garage is right there, entrance is there, and then you build down.
Exactly.
Okay, so sorry, top 2 car was a Porsche for you.
Oh yeah. Okay, so the Porsche,
Singer.
the Civic, the Singer Porsche. The last one would be an Audi RS4 wagon.
What?
Yeah,
I'm
sorry.
So random.
I'm sorry. Yeah, the Audi RS4
it's a cool
wagon.
Car, but I would never.
Yeah, the Audi RS4 wagon, the first generation V8 RS4 wagon.
They came in V8.
Yeah, and the only reason for that was I did have a period where I was big on Audis, and the first year that came out with the flared fenders and everything, I was just like, oh my God, because it was, honestly, it was very subtle, even with the flared fenders. And I know they have the new generations now that are even more over the top, and I've seen them,
good.
they're beautiful.
They
They're beautiful. But that first generation was just so subtle. It just looked like an A4 wagon.
And it's small.
Yes.
For a wagon, it's the size of my Accord.
Exactly.
Because cars were smaller.
Yeah.
But
so
with
you
that
can
power,
still kind of bebop through traffic and everything, but it was low key, very subtle, didn't attract a lot of attention, just had the little subtle RS4 badge on the fender. But that V8 growl, it was just beautiful. Just beautiful.
That is an odd choice.
Yeah, and manual transmission too.
Oh, they came in manual as well?
Yeah, I've occasionally still looked through Auto Trader for those. Price is still up there, but I'm like, I think it's still like 68, 70,000. Still.
And what year would these be?
I think it's like 2007 or 8. I think something like that.
That's a good period of time.
Yeah.
Because every time I think of 08, I associate it with like Evos.
Yeah.
And to me, that like 2010 is a cut out for like raw, not raw, but like that mix of raw and tech combined.
Yeah.
After that, I feel like everything went more really tech.
Yeah, and that was the thing that I liked about, because compared to like Subaru wagons and stuff, which I love Subaru wagons still, but it was still low key enough that it didn't attract a lot of attention. It didn't attract a lot of like thieves or anything like that. It didn't get punked on the freeway or anything. And it still looked, very respectable. If you had to, go to business meetings or you had to pick up people for work or something like that, it's just very low key.
It's a wagon.
Yeah.
So you can take it to the grocery store.
Yep. And wagons statistically, except for the newer Subaru wagons, cops still don't really notice wagons very much. They're very on the low end of the scale,
For a reason, because they're supposed to be the boring. Yeah, that's a good fleet. That's a good fleet, because now you have this, which can be your weekend warrior / driver, right? You have your Singer, which you're not gonna want to drive every day because it's so freaking crazy.
But I still would as much as possible.
If money's not an option, bro, let's drive it, right? And then you have the wagon, which is extremely subtle, and that could be your daily driver.
Yeah.
I mean, not a bad. I like that. I like those choices. I think
Thank you.
You went very broad, and you actually took about, you thought about, because there's so many cars, right?
Yeah.
You can substitute that 510 somewhere in there, but you cannot substitute for the Porsche. You can't substitute for this. So maybe the wagon, that last spot is always the one. Got it. Yeah. See, I'm gonna go the opposite. I'm gonna go very uncomfortable because I'm an idiot.
Okay.
So I was in my coupe, which I'm like, again, it's just out of sentimental, but I know it's not the right choice. I'm like,
but I can appreciate it.
I know
appreciate it. But is there anything that, but again, money, no object. Is there anything else you would do to it before it makes it into that garage?
Okay. Man, that's a game changer. Probably K24 supercharged.
Okay. Oh, nice.
That's it.
Okay.
K24 supercharged. Bam, 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 bam. That's it. I don't even care about this doesn't cluster or any of that. No, just K24 supercharged.
Nice.
No, I don't need to be pushing 500. Like 350s. That's it.
Okay.
Okay, let's go with that. That's okay. And reliable, right? Okay, so that could be my reliable car. I have to go with my weekend driver, F40.
Oh, okay.
And the big thing about me, I don't care about power. I just said, K24 supercharged. I don't care about power.
It's just that classic high school dream car?
No, the Ferrari, I actually started liking maybe like 5 to 10 years ago.
Really?
I never liked Ferraris. I told you, I don't like exotics.
Yeah.
Ferraris,
What
Lambos.
brought you to that 40 then?
Well, the fact that my Accord looks like one.
Very much so, very much so.
Did you look at it like the top? No, just a quick.
Very much so.
It looks like you looked at it like.
I see the inspiration.
Anyways, I don't know. I think if I had to pinpoint it, the YouTube channel Petrolicious.
Oh yeah. The Liberty Walk one?
No.
Oh.
No, I think the Liberty Walk one, that was like Larry Chen. No.
Yeah, or the other one, the white one that got rebuilt.
No. The YouTube channel Petrolicious, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, they would interview people with their 40. I think it was that channel that brought me into a lot of different chassis. And I can't remember when I saw the F40 that I was like, man, something about that car. I just can't remember. But I just think that it's just such a good looking car. It's not fast by any means.
Yeah, especially nowadays. Yeah.
Right, it's not fast for how it looks. But I think it's aging just beautifully.
It is. It's a very beautiful chassis.
It's beautiful.
It is.
And it literally is just a metal chassis.
Did you see the one? I forgot who it is. Oh, God. It's one of the guys who knows Donut Garage and stuff, but he rebuilt a white one, and I think it's K-powered, actually. And it's like a K-powered turbo, and he like redid everything from top to bottom, but it was originally a wrecked one that he bought and brought back to life.
Wow, that's cool.
I'll send you the link to that one. It's pretty damn cool.
Are you talking about maybe Stanceworks?
Yes.
Mike Burrows.
Yes, Mike at Stanceworks. There you go.
I haven't seen none of his videos on that. I think selfishly, I'm waiting for all the videos to be out. So I want to see all that once.
Okay.
It's weird, but I'm like, I watch these other videos about like his sedan, BMWs that he's fixing and all these other stuff, but I avoid that one.
Okay.
It's just a weird thing. I'm like, I know I want to sit down and watch something.
I think all of his are out.
Are they all done?
Yeah, I think he's all done with it. Yeah.
Because I kept seeing like ready to fire up, like
Oh no, yeah. I think it's done. I think it's done. He brought it out. Yeah, no, he's brought it out already.
Really?
So yes.
Okay, cool.
So that one, I think you'll enjoy that
for
one.
a couple hours, and because he's rusty. I don't know if you remember his rusty build.
Rusty. Yeah.
I just used to watch and read a whole bunch of stuff. Like when he was in the forum, like I would just read on that car, and I don't even own one of those cars.
Yeah.
Which I really like those cars, but just I like his thought process.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, sorry, we got off track.
Add to the list to the 40. So it's a very uncomfortable car.
Yeah.
Extremely uncomfortable. And the coupe is very uncomfortable. So the last car, it would be a lowrider.
Oh.
Be a lowrider.
Which one?
That's a debate. I bounce back between the 59 and 63. But if I'm being honest and money's not an option, it has to be the 59 convertible.
Impala?
Yes, Impala.
Ah.
The cat eyes in the back.
Yeah.
You cannot beat it. 63 is more affordable, so that's why, as everyday individual, I keep striving for that. Funny enough, I was DMing my buddy Rafa, and there's a sedan version of it, and it's not even Impala, it's the Bel Air, which they look almost the same. There's some changes, and he's like, well, it's like if you want the coupe, like you're gonna buy the sedan, you're gonna be happy, but you're not gonna be happy. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So I think the more I think about it, I'm like, you cannot beat that styling of that 59. And for me, I think that would be it. And I don't like, I'm not into the whole engraving everything and 5 different layers of paint. No. I'm more subtle, red interior, black. I know
a little bit more of the Resto Mod kind of version of it.
Yeah. And just clean on juice, right? Obviously.
Nice. And
that's it. Like, so those are my 3 cars. I think that 40 may be out of budget as of today. Maybe by next week when I get paid, I'll have enough.
There you go.
So I think I've always played with the idea of like an old 90s car, Honda Accord probably specifically, Porsche, lowrider. But if money is not an option, freaking Jackie just because she's there, and F40 and 59.
Nice. Well,
very uncomfortable cars.
Well, here's the thing, especially using Mike as an example, the F40 may not actually be as far out of your budget as possible, because him and Gas Monkey Garage both started with wrecked ones that they rebuilt. So if you're not concerned about title and just want to have something to build and have fun with, you technically might be able to find a salvaged one to build, which is what they did.
Did he discuss how much he got it for?
I don't know what he got his for, but I know like Gas Monkey got theirs. I know theirs was really cheap because like the front end was all smashed up.
Was really cheap.
I think like, I want to say 90 for like, over,
$1 million car.
Easy.
So you can't give me this idea because I'm an idiot. So one of the things I was DMing, okay, so I DM my buddy, I'm like, yeah, because he's like, oh shoot, like, because I told him like, hey, is a sedan and the lowriders thing like, I don't know. And I know it's up to discretion. You can do whatever the hell you want, and I know the answer. I know that you want a coupe, nice and sleek. But shout out to the homies that are building sedans, and he's like, they're not as coveted. So he's like, why? So I sent him the link, and he's like, oh shoot, you want to start with the 59? Like, yeah, I'm like, yep. I'm like, that's the more budgety getting into that chassis. And I told him, like, I don't mind spending money when it comes to something rare. And so then a couple of days later, I was on my bike ride with my son. I'm like, I'm an idiot. I just contradicted myself. Like, if I don't mind spending for something that's rare, why am I going to settle for the sedan?
Yeah.
The same thing with that. Like, I would be the guy who's like, okay, let me just put it off to the side and go buy a stupid F4. Like, it would not be a smart decision. Plus, these guys know how to build things. I don't.
No,
so that's
true.
the big,
that's true. Yeah.
But then again, I feel like I have enough connections that if I'm just willing to pay.
Well, because one of the guys that we hang out with, E.F. Danielson.
Okay.
He made a good point the other day. Like one of the, you see it all the time on Instagram.
Good point. I disagree with you. Whatever he's about to say, I disagree with you. I'm just kidding.
Like he pointed out, like one of the guys wrecked their cars up in Angeles Crest the other day, right? And he made a good point as far as like if you're gonna be doing like canyon runs, tracking a car, or whatever, it makes more sense to do that. Pick up a car that probably has a salvage title or something, because if you ball it up, it's not a big deal. You're probably not holding on to it for resale value or anything like that. If you ball it up, no big deal, done deal. But if you're gonna be doing that stuff, don't do it with like a brand new, clean, rare chassis that's mint condition or something like that,
right.
So kind of the same thing. If you're gonna do like all sorts of crazy stuff like Mike at StanceWorks, where he did tube frame and K swap and all of that, you might as well start with the salvage one, because you're gonna destroy the value anyways if you're doing all that stuff.
I mean, the value's already destroyed in theory, right?
Yeah.
Because it already got salvaged.
Exactly.
And who wants to buy that car? Hence why he's buying it for $100K.
Exactly. So that's why it's like, okay, it's free game. Now you can do whatever.
And people that know what they're doing. I mean, technically that specific F40 is it's just a tube chassis with a little bit, of skin on top.
Yeah. There was another one. Same guy, Dan, showed me this thread the other day. This guy bought a wrecked M3.
Okay.
And this guy, I don't know who he is, but apparently he's just legit at doing all sorts of milling work and everything. But he basically cut off the front end, did an entire front tube frame on the front end of it, did all these milled parts through a LS swap into it, LS Corvette swap into it, milled all these parts and stuff, and it still looks like a BMW M3 on the outside, but it's got a Corvette swap, it's got all these custom suspension pieces, custom spin, what is it, the single bolt wheels and stuff like that. Center locks. He did all this stuff, and it's like, and he started with a wrecked BMW.
Yeah.
And it's like, what better chassis to do all of that?
Yeah, the big difference is they know what they're doing, and that's a huge advantage.
Yeah.
I always get mad about people that say, hey, if you can't ranch, then you're not enthusiast, right? I get mad about that because it's like, well, there's some aspect to it that, yes, there's certain people that just have that mechanical bug. I don't care what you tell me. There's some people that just know, especially engineers. When I speak with people that are engineers, you can just tell. They think different, they act different.
Yeah, look at Eric ISX. He's got the he's got an IS 300. He had a CRX before. That guy, he creates all sorts of fiberglass parts and stuff. Engineer through and through, and he has an eyeball. We were
discussing it before we started shooting.
Yes.
Pictures.
Yes.
That's an art form.
Yes.
Some of you guys are very good at taking pictures of photography, and I'm not. He's good, but I'm not, and so I need to study other people. Call it copying, call it mimicking, call it whatever you want to call it, but you have to study other people and give it a try, right? The same thing with mechanic stuff. Like I can do minimal things, but like full-on engine swaps and crazy one-of-one builds, no, I can. And people may say, well, yes, you can. You just have to put your hands into it. And part of it may be true. I'm more of a visual learner. You teach me how to do it, I'll do it. Because that always happens. Even when drawing, I was decent at drawing, but I needed to see what I can draw. I can't just bring it up on my mind, and some people can. So for me, it's always been that conversation of like, oh, if you don't ranch, then you're not a true car enthusiast. It's like, okay, well, let's play that game. So if we're gonna always judge somebody by just that specific thing that they can't do, what about the things that they can do?
Yeah.
And by what I mean by that is, who's driving these F40s? Most likely, I'm not saying all of them, most likely somebody that doesn't know how to wrench. But whatever they do in their personal life makes them enough money to be able to afford it.
Yeah.
So if you judge a fish by climbing a tree, it's going to be thinking that it's stupid this whole time, right? But what about those hedge fund managers that make $1 million, $2 million, $5 million for their company? There's a reason why there's shops that exist. There's a reason why people, you need people like myself that I can go take it to my buddy and say, hey, help me out because I don't have the space, I don't have the knowledge, I don't have the tools for a major thing like this.
Yeah, there's plenty of people who can afford all those kinds of cars. They love cars. They love everything about cars. They love driving the cars. They love owning the cars. They don't know how the cars work. They don't know how to work on the cars, but they love them. They're still an enthusiast. So they find something that allows them to afford those cars. They're still an enthusiast, just in a different way. Hey, I can't afford those cars. I find cars that I can afford. I find ways to make it easier for myself to keep these cars and work on them. Got a friend who he started with Hondas, and BMWs were out of his reach, but he learned how to work on BMWs, so that way now all of a sudden he can afford BMWs because now he knows how to work on them. Yep.
Just like get mad.
Well, yeah, just even look, like use my car as an example, right? I can put it all together so it functionally does everything it's supposed to do. It's got the right wheel size, offset, sticky tires. It's got the right engine, the right parts and everything. But somebody else, maybe you come along and say, okay, everything works as it's supposed to, but now I can come in and make everything look better because I can put it together cohesively. Like, okay, this can be color matched, that can be this can be this color would work better with that color, and now you've elevated the entire car where I'm just looking at it functionally.
Well, okay, that's a great point that you brought up, because two things to that you just, as soon as you were saying, I was thinking about it. Number one, someone can come and have a better eye for eye color, but it doesn't matter. If you don't like it, you don't like it.
True.
They can tell you, oh no, it doesn't matter.
That's true.
Right?
That is very true.
And so that's again, we have different skills, we have different things. The other aspect to it, sticking with the whole enthusiast thing, where like, oh, if you don't work on your car, you're not true car enthusiast. You just brought up a great point that I'm like, how many BS do we get for working on older Hondas? Or just older cars?
Yeah.
How many, like, it's like this elite, right? Or, belief that somebody in a newer car, why would you spend all that money on a bucket when you can just buy a out of the box M3?
Yeah.
Right? And that's another level of like, I don't know if you're so much better than I am, but it's almost like knocking down what we're doing.
Yeah. I just saw that the other day. There was a post, one of the guys posted, and like, for the amount of money I spent on my Honda, I could probably just go buy a brand new Porsche. And it's like, yeah, maybe. You could, but then also that brings to mind the other part of it. Like, and I have this conversation with my wife all the time. Right now, a lot of people can afford a used Porsche very easily. There's a lot of them very affordable on the used market.
Right.
But it's also the care and feeding that kills most people. It's the maintenance costs, the oil changes, the parts, everything. That's what kills a lot of people. That's why a lot of people buy a Porsche, enjoy it for a little while, and then the main maintenance, kick it off to somebody else, and they never see that Porsche again. Or they blow the engine, and then now it's a nice paperweight. But like, for me, I try to think about that whenever I look at any car, like beyond the initial purchase. What's it gonna be like to keep down the line? Because I want to keep it a long time. I don't wanna just enjoy it for a year and then be like, okay, fuck, the year's up. Now I have to sell it on. It's like, and
there's a lot of cars and people like that where they just want to have the image of it for a little bit and then they kick it down the road.
Exactly. Or they lease it short term and then it's like, okay, next.
That's what I'm telling you. There's a lot of things that grind my gears, obviously, but those are some of them. And what you just mentioned is like, oh yeah, like I spend so much money on my car. Like, I was like, yeah, you're right. Like, how many of us get stuff just by like, dude, like they're freaking econo boxes. And so going back to at the beginning of the conversation, one of the shirts that I'm working on in the project is about econo boxes and what it means. I saw a quote a long time ago, and it was with the like old school VW, and it said, people that buy a new car are trying to be someone. People that drive old cars know who they are. And obviously that's a broad statement. That's not for everybody, but it resonated with me, right? I'm like, yeah, I don't need to buy a new car to keep up with anybody's image.
That is
a perspective
that
of
is
who should I
fairly
be.
true, though. That is fairly true, because even like for me, looking back at the era when these all started, right? A lot of times the guys in high school that started with the Civics, right? They moved up from the Civics to like the Integras and the Legends once they got a better paying job. You know, the little elevated.
There's a big pay difference.
They
And so,
moved
like,
up to
they're
those,
nicer,
or to the Honda Preludes and stuff like that, right? And then
or Accords.
Exactly. No, exactly.
No.
Exactly. No.
Anyways, again.
No. It's true. The Accords, especially
Anyways.
once they had the family, especially, and
Yeah.
they needed the family
Reliability.
sedans, reliability.
Yeah.
They got the Accords, the Legends, the Integras, right? And that was their step up from the little Civics and stuff like that, because these were the starter cars, the CRXs and the Civics. Then once they became a professional, it was, okay, put away the Hondas. Then they stepped into the BMWs, the Audis, the Lexus, etc.
Lexi,
and
that too.
Yeah, and that was that era when you couldn't give away Hondas. Nobody wanted them. They were rotting away in people's driveways. People were like, dude, I got a Civic, take it away, man. You can have it. Take all the parts in the garages. Yeah, exactly. I've got Mugen parts in the garage for this. Take it all away, man. When, you know, some of my friends, they gave their cars away for nothing. Great condition cars, gave them away. You know, some of them had them hauled out for junkyards.
Because Danielson, he told me the first time we met, he's like, yeah, dude, for a while I bought the Lexus. I bought the newer car, and he's like, after a while, I was like, what am I doing? Like, this is not giving me joy. And I would see people, and you know, he shared that story. I don't even know, man. It was in Pasadena. I don't know why I remember certain like stories. I don't remember people's names, but I remember that one. Maybe 5-6 years ago, he told me, he's like, I bought a Lexus. I was like, what am I doing? I just went back to, it's like, I thought I needed to get a newer car because I'm older now. And funny you say that. I used to work in Arby's, and on the drive-thru, this dude with the SI, clean black, would always roll by. And back then it was what, 2010, 2011. And I remember looking at his car, I'm like, man, I love your car. He's like, oh, thanks, bro, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, I'm probably gonna sell it. And I was like, okay. I'm like, you can easily get $3K for this. At the time it was really high. He's like, no, $3K, no way, man. I'm like, no. And I was barely starting to get into the forums. I knew people were into them. He's like, I don't think I'm ever gonna be able to get $3K for this. Well, we see how that's going. Because now people want them.
My wife, she had her favorite brand new car she ever had. She had a Toyota RAV4 4-door manual transmission.
Oh, wow.
Favorite car in the world. When our daughter started going to elementary school, she felt like, especially because we were some of the youngest parents there, because we had our daughter early, we got married and we had our daughter very quickly after. So we were the youngest parents there, and she didn't want to give that image of being too young a parent or whatever. So we got rid of the RAV4 and we got a Camry, you know, the adult car.
Right.
That was one of the biggest regrets that we had, getting rid of that RAV4 for the Camry, but it was the same idea. It's like, oh, let's get rid of the RAV, is kind of, you know, kid's car, for the Camry. We didn't enjoy the Camry. It was a horrible trade-up. You know, it was the Camry Sport. It was the least sporty car ever. it was a horrible decision. We wanted to go back to the RAV4, and we should have. But it's that same idea. It's like you think at some point that you have to step up to these other cars, and it's like, no, you don't. If the other car was fine, you're happy with it, stay with it.
But that's a level of maturity, right? And it takes time, and I agree. I think at some point, you know,
that was a Lexus.
I thought it was up in the bridge until I saw it. I'm like, wait, he's moving with that car.
That was a Lexus LS300. That's just me.
I thought it was going up the bridge. I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah.
Holy crap, that was a lot of noise for an LS300. Holy shit.
And it wasn't moving.
It wasn't.
I'm like, is that my cord? No, but like, it takes a level of maturity. It takes a level of, you know, just growing up in confidence. It takes a lot of confidence to roll in with this, especially where I work and what I do. But I don't care. I have bigger goals in life, and the biggest thing for me, I think, is just that I don't hate what I drive.
Yeah.
there's a lot of people out there that are not even car enthusiasts. They drive older cars because their budget, whatever, and they absolutely hate. I hear it, you know. I hate my car. I wish I could get a new car. But I'm just like, your car's like an 08, 09, 10, 11, 50. You know, like they're not old cars in my view.
Yeah.
I'm here in my 94, and they're so unhappy with the car. Now I think it's just that's their personality, but I'm like, I'm so glad I don't have that feeling of resentment towards myself, anger.
Yeah.
Dude, every day I roll in, I'm like, that exhaust leak now is killing me. But other than that, it's like, I'm cruising in my 90s car. People are passing me in their, EVs. And, youngsters are driving badass cars. And I'm just like, I always give them thumbs up. They probably never give me thumbs back. It's okay. But that's all right. Like, that's like something about these damn cars, man. I just can't get away from.
Yeah.
And I want them even older. I don't care.
But, and there's also a lot of people who just treat them purely as appliances. And, that kind of gets me too, because it's those same people who they act like they're driving their fridge to work or whatever, and they don't care. They'll drive them into the ground and they'll move on to the next one. And those are the people that destroy the few good chassis that are still out there and are still available.
I think I'm part of the problem though, because like obviously
no, but I mean you're still working on
car,
them,
bro.
No, but you still put time and effort into them. There's a lot of people, like my wife has, her best friend had an EG that she bought brand new, her first car. Wow. She loved it to death. Man, I put so much time and effort helping her keep that car maintained, but she just over time just ran it into the ground more and more and more, to the point where I couldn't do anything more to it. And she finally just broke it, and it just sat in her garage. No,
that's a big difference. You could have, but the owner is not willing to continue having that battle. And that's the difference between, that's why when we started, it takes a very special person to drive these cars, because it's gonna break.
Yes, actually, that was the thing. We had that conversation with her, and we said, look, if you're gonna keep this car, you need to stay on top of these things.
Like, no.
And she wasn't willing to do it.
Okay, so it's either spend, I don't know, let's say $1,500 a year, just ballpark it, for just maintaining an old car, or go buy myself an 05 Corolla with AC, with all the bells and whistles, and I don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, but she also, admittedly though, I kept telling her, make sure when it needs stuff, come to me, I'll take care of it. She kept taking advantage of by taking it to regular garages. Like I think one time her upper strut mount busted. She took it to a garage, and they said, oh, your front end's too low. They took out her Koni ground controls from the front, replaced it with just stocks, and her front end was so much more jacked up than the front. They made the front end, the suspension disappear from the front, and had to replace all that. I was like, dude, what the hell?
Yeah. But it takes a special person to drive these older cars, and there's days, man, that I'm like, when the cars are not working, I'm just like, why am I doing this? Like, why can't I just be normal and just buy a freaking new car-ish, right?
But admittedly, one thing that's helped, and I don't know how it is for everybody else, because I know you actually go into for work and stuff. I know one thing that's helped for me is working from home now. Now that I don't have to drive in all the time, or even a couple of days a week, it does help a lot more knowing that I don't have to deal with that.
Oh, okay.
And I only have to drive in once in a while, or if I do have to go someplace, I can, Uber or Lyft for certain events, and I don't have to worry. But like every once in a while, I'll be like, hey, I'll take my wife's car if I have to go somewhere. If I have to go someplace where I know parking's shitty or whatever, I'll Uber or Lyft. So that makes it a little bit easier.
That's a difference.
Yeah, but like if I know she's got to be somewhere with her car, and I need to take a car, like, maybe like I'll check with my daughter too. I'll be like, hey, do you need to be anywhere? Sometimes I'll grab her car if anything. But yeah, if something's not available, then Uber or Lyft if I have to.
Yeah, the only time I drive my wife's car really is if I'm gonna take my son somewhere. Because now as a parent, it's weird that back in the 90s, this was a family car. This was the safe car.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, dude, I don't want him in this car. Like, I'm very freaked out about that, So I'm like, nah, we'll take you in the CRV, but he doesn't, unless he really has to be in this car.
We used to have the baby seat in the back of the Starlet.
Oh.
We had it in the back of an 80 Celica. I mean, dang, dude.
Yeah, dude. So that's the thing, like it's, I don't know. I don't think I'm ever gonna be normal, man. The only I guess gripe I have about old cars is if they're not working.
Yeah.
which is stupid, right? That's the whole point. That's why people get rid of them, and that's the reason why, as we were discussing off camera, the Jay Leno law didn't pass, because Congress people, they don't care about old cars. It's about business and money and hybrid and EV and all that stuff.
And that's the weird thing though, because California is such a car culture, it would bring so much more money back into California, because there is so many car-centric companies in California that support all of this. You know, the aftermarket parts companies. How many companies moved to Utah and Nevada and Texas because of all of that, that could come back to support all of this, you know, because it's not even just the JDM aftermarket. You've got how many American cars that are getting harder and harder to keep in California because of all those, you know, smog restrictions, the Euro cars too. The catalytics are more expensive than the cars, the smog pumps. You know, when I had a 91 GTI, and they have this one little smog pump with like 4 little, you know, lines out of it, and you need that for smog, and they don't make that anymore. Nobody. So they tell you, if you have a working one, install it for smog. As soon as you pass smog, take it out and put it away, so that way it doesn't get messed up.
Wow.
So it's like, you know, it becomes one of those things. It's like it becomes harder and harder, and it's like a lot of these cars don't see daily driver status, and if there are a few, they're so small, and you figure it's offset with all these other electric cars and hybrids and everything. So,
and if we want to get technical, like the fashion and the private planes are really the ones destroying most of the ozone and pollution.
I mean, there's more than other stuff offsetting all of.
Well, mine is because of the exhaust liquid. But this one's good. So
there's more than enough offsetting. But yeah, like my car right now, it's doing super good. You know, if you've got it set up and tuned and everything, most of the Hondas, honestly, if they're set up with the cat and the tune right, they're clean. One of my friends had a EK Coupe with the Edelbrock turbo kit.
Nice.
And that thing ran cleaner than it did without the turbo kit.
Well, that's the reason a lot of cars went turbo, because apparently they run cleaner.
Yep. Because of the tune and the turbo and everything, it ran way cleaner.
Yeah, that's why the newer Civics and Accords are turbo, because of that reason.
Yeah, and even if you run like the, the Corn? The
E85?
The E85. That's supposed to also help you.
Like
yeah, sorry.
The band or the gas?
Yeah, sorry. It's supposed E85. That's supposed to also help you run cleaner. You know, so I mean.
But then it pollutes some other stuff.
Exactly. It'll mess up the lines in your car and stuff. Yeah. So.
I don't know, man. Never ending. I mean, I always enjoy talking to you, man. You always bring such good vibes. And the Skittles meet that we had, like, we just had good vibes. And
thank you.
It's you, man. I really appreciate you just being really supportive of the channel, just always making time, coming out to the Freeway Runners meet.
Thank you. It's always a good time.
I really appreciate your friendship. I really do.
I
think you're a very nice person, kind soul, and you know, we have to say it. We have to say it in front of the person, because
thank you.
You know, life is short and things happen, and then you're like, oh, that guy was really cool. Like, did you ever tell him? Nah.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You know, it's funny you mentioned this though, because I was talking to Retro Trucker on Instagram the other day, and he sent me a picture at the Tony's Donuts meet. And I guess I was walking and maybe the sun was in my eye, but I looked just angry. And he's like, hey, this is what you looked like at the meet. I was like, oh man, do I look like that? He goes, yeah. He goes, you looked really angry, so I didn't want to come up to you. I was like, dude, I was like, I have bad distance vision and the sun was probably in my face. I go, believe me, I'm approachable, man. You can come up and say hi. He goes, yeah, I was kind of afraid to come up and say hi to you. I go, no, just come up to me anytime, man. It's okay.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen you mad. Even all the making the jokes of things not starting. Like you told me about everything, you know, you're working on. I'm like, anything but the ignition switch. And you just,
I know.
Man, I'm telling you, it's just, life is good. I'm a very blessed person. I'm so grateful that I'm able to do this. I don't have the fancies of anything. I don't even work on cars.
Well, I mean, you've always been just very down to earth.
But this
stuff.
is what I like.
Yeah.
And we get to drink coffee under the LA Bridge.
And you know, good weather. At least it's not super hot or anything.
It's California.
You know?
It's always good weather. That's the reason why we pay so much more. But among other stuff that I really like, and so meeting people like yourself has been It's been fun, man, and it'll continue to be fun. And I can't wait to see that video. That's gonna be interesting.
I know, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Just that much closer.
We'll put his YouTube channel in the description. I think you'll get some value out of it. Consider, you know, subscribing to his channel. Just check it out.
Yeah. And I'll definitely be back to talk to you more after. So
I think it's gonna be fun. Yeah, we'll have to redo this again because you know, I think you and I never run out of things to have conversations, and mostly because you're just a good, you know how to conversate and have, you know,
it's his polite way to say I'm a motor mouth, but
no. But even when we met up, like, you make it so easy to just get to know you and get to know people. You know,
thank you.
And that's talking about going back to, like, some people have skills of working on cars, taking pictures. That's a skill. How many times have you come across, and I probably come across like that sometimes, but how many times you come across somebody that you're like, I don't want to talk to that person ever again?
Yeah, no.
They didn't say anything bad or wrong, but you just something. You're like, nah. And you're not like that. You're like the opposite.
Oh,
like,
thank
cool,
you.
man. We'll talk again, and you know, that's cool.
Yeah.
So
I know my wife always, she's like, how do you know, because she's very opposite of that. It takes her a while to open up to people. She's like, how do you just talk to anybody? And I'm like, well, 9 times out of 10, especially if it's like car related, she'll be like, how do you just walk up to somebody and talk to them about cars? And I was like, well, if it's car related, I already know I've got something in common with them, you know, so that's already an icebreaker right there.
Yeah, we have more things in common than politicians want us to believe. But we'll leave it at that. Sorry, another rant.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, a lot of times, you know, I've always been a pretty friendly guy. You know, I try to be the one to talk to people, you know, make bridges, make friends, you know. That's how I've always been.
Thank you for the time.
Thank you.
How did you like the coffee?
It was good. This was damn good.
Yeah,
damn good. Yeah.
All right, cool. We gotta get some sponsors for coffee shops.
Yeah, heck yeah.
All right, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for the time. Love the vibe, and love the new look that you got going on. More
Thank
to
you.
basic look. Tee.
I know I had to change it up a little bit, and
and it still didn't work.
I know.
We'll catch you guys in the next time. Peace out.
Take it easy. Peace out.